Next up, we have Team RGS Cranberry. Their take on empowering differently abled cafe trainees comes in the form of a gamified recipe app.
Are we able to share our screen? Because screen sharing is currently disabled. Okay, so hello everyone. We are Team RGS Cranberry and welcome to our presentation. So on our screen now are the segments we'll be covering today.
Firstly, a little introduction to us as a team. Hello, I'm Vera and I love to code in my free time, and I am part of my school's robotics club.
Okay, hi there, I'm Nura and I have a huge passion for service and helping those in need. Lastly, we also have our mentor Cynthia, who is a software engineer, a techie who enjoys designing softwares to help people.
And now some insight into our area of concern as well as our proposed solution to improve the status quo. The beneficiary we had chosen to serve was the Association for People with Special Needs Center for Adults, a social service agency that aims to empower individuals with intellectual disabilities. In the case of our app, Kitchen Assist, this collaboration with APSN aims to equip trainees with the necessary skill sets to work independently and integrate more easily into the workforce.
We've prototyped an app that instructors can use to create comprehensive recipe books with visuals and tutorial style videos. This allows trainees to receive the guidance needed to complete tasks independently. We also have a cooking simulation, which simulates the preparation of recipes in a kitchen setting and provides incentive in the form of points. More on that in the next segment of our presentation.
We hope to bridge the gap between beneficiaries and stakeholders through effective use of technological means to provide assistance when necessary. Of course, we had to ensure that our design would take into consideration the needs and circumstances of our users, which in this case were the trainees. Major factors that had influenced our app involved the environment trainees would work in. We would have to account for the noisy environment in the kitchen setting, as well as the need for a safe space where trainees would be able to practice and hone their cooking skills outside of the cafe.
We would also have to consider the circumstances and needs of our beneficiaries stemming from their intellectual disabilities. This meant we'd have to cater to their preferences for more cartoonish and engaging visuals, as well as the need for reduced complexity within the app's interface. We'll also be delving further into how we tackle these needs in our next segment. And we will now proceed to our prototype that we've created on the wireframe mockup tool Balsamic. Allow us a brief intermission to share our screen.
Just to check, can everyone see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so as you can see now, this is the rough prototype that we have designed, roughly emulating the actual application. The first page you see is our main screen. The background has a cartoonish style with vibrant colors so that our users remain engaged throughout, which is pivotal, especially during work shifts.
The app allows trainees to scan their fingerprints to have immediate access to the app under their own personal accounts, removing the need for remembering passwords, which may come as a challenge to trainees with short-term memory due to their intellectual disabilities.
This next screen is the checklist, which trainees are required to complete before they can proceed to the next screen. This will ensure that safety and hygiene in the kitchen is not compromised. As for its contents, it will be determined by the trainers.
Now, after all the tasks in the checklist have been completed, the button to proceed to the next screen will be enabled. And this is to prevent any accidental skipping of the checklist so that quality of cleanliness and safety is ensured. And after which, the user will be led to the next page, which requires a PIN code input from the mentor present in the kitchen, which ensures the environment is suitable for cooking to ensue.
Onto the scrolling recipes page, where trainees can scroll to choose the recipe that they will be preparing. Sorry, apologies. Okay, yes. Images of the food are provided so that trainees who may find greater difficulty processing written language will be able to comprehend them. When the dish is chosen, a pop-up to confirm the selection will show to reduce misclicks. When yes is selected, it will lead to the next screen, where trainees then learn how to prepare the selected dish.
So based on our talks with our advisor, all trainees are able to minimally speak in basic English, so we've chosen English to be our medium of instruction throughout the app. The instructions will include text as well as a video clip or GIF to depict the action so that the trainee is able to follow along in their own learning style. And the text captions have a word limit of about 15 words to avoid lengthy instructions. The videos provided will not play automatically unless requested by the trainee, which allows them to save time if they deem watching the video unnecessary, as we do recognize different trainees may not need the visuals.
We plan on using voice recognition via lapel mics for each trainee to overcome sound pollution in the kitchen and to ensure the highest hygiene standards within the kitchen setting. However, we recognize that in the rare case of a glitch or speech impediment, we will also have the option to use buttons to maneuver through the app's interface. However, the go-to will still be vocal recognition.
Now, if the app has been left on for a prolonged period of time with no activity, a pop-up will show to check on whether the trainee is still using the app. So saying yes will lead back to the screen it was on before.
After completion, it will lead to a recipe complete screen. This brings us to another PIN code input so that the dish can pass through quality checks by the trainers before the trainees proceed to prepare another dish. When the PIN code has been entered, trainees can choose to return to the main screen, choose another dish to prepare, or declare their shift over.
If a trainee states their shift is over, the trainer will then be asked to input the PIN code once again to verify that this is true. And then trainees will be led to another checklist that they must complete before they are given the option to return to the main screen of the app once more. And in the event that a trainee chooses the I am at home option from the main screen, they will then be led to a separate screen that allows them to either check the leaderboard or enter the game portion of our application. Once again, the screen has a return button at the top left to avoid any misclicks.
If the trainee chooses to enter the game, they will be led to yet another scrolling recipe screen that allows them to select from the wide range of recipes offered in the kitchen. Once the trainee has chosen the recipe, the app will probe a confirmation from the trainee to prevent any misclicks.
So the game we have involves simulations based on the actual cooking steps. So they've been designed to encourage precision that will reflect on their performance in the kitchen. For example, the mini game shown on this particular slide reflects the chopping of an onion, and how the app gauges precision is then to ensure the trainee cuts directly on the dotted line to ensure diced onions are correctly sized, which is a skill that also translates into what they should do in the kitchen. And besides precision, points are also given for frequency of practicing recipes through the game simulation, encouraging the active practicing of dishes even in an external setting to enhance their memory of the recipes.
Once the game has been completed, the trainees will be led to another screen that shows them the number of points they had accumulated in the process of the game, as well as the buttons that lead them to the leaderboard to select another recipe or to return to the title screen. If the trainee chooses to enter the leaderboard, they will be brought to a screen where the names of trainees and their positions will be displayed. Based on our liaisons with our advisor, the trainees tend to be very competitive. Hence, this would encourage the trainees to practice preparing these dishes at home safely. Being in the top 3 of the leaderboard entails incentives provided at the end of each month, such as being featured on APSN's social media platforms. Now, back to our slides.
To conclude our presentation, we would like to end with a few thank yous. So firstly, to our mentor, Tunjie, who had guided us and advised us with her expert knowledge throughout this journey, our APSN advisor, Han-Yi, who helped us fine-tune the product design to better suit the needs of the trainees.
Third, to Engineering Good, who has provided us with this opportunity to serve. And last, to Mrs. Leong, our teacher mentor, for supporting us along the way. This brings us to the end of our presentation, and we would like to thank all of you for being here to find out more about us and our product.
All right, thank you so much for that presentation, Team RGS Cranberry. So we're moving on to the Q&A segment of your presentation. So one question that we have, a few questions that we have from the audience is, do you have a working prototype to demonstrate?
Our working prototype is actually the balsamic software that we'd shown just now. So if you guys go take a look at our booth, we do, I believe, have a link to the slides, and within the slides, you'll see a link that links you to the working prototype based off of the balsamic slides that we'd shown just now. So yes, we do have a working prototype.
All right, thank you so much. We have another question from another attendee. For your onion chopping game, do you believe that the chopping an onion in an online game would train trainees to chop onions in a physical kitchen?
It's not about...
I'd say it doesn't Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do I go?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that here the biggest focus isn't on actually learning how to chop the onion. It's rather training, for example, their hand-eye coordination and you know, their precision, and just it doesn't teach them how to chop onions, but it helps them improve in the skills that are needed to chop onions and yeah,
It also
etc.
encourages active remembrance of the skill sets that you need within a kitchen setting. So you need to dice onions at a specific size, not too big, not too small, for example, in a kitchen setting. Through the app, it reminds you to have such steps in mind when you carry out cooking in a physical setting, which is what we aim to achieve through encouraging precision in our game.
All right, thank you so much, Team RGS Cranberry.